This is Kurt Wilhelm, your host of the Social Universe, and we are joined by Joan Kerber-Walker, who is the Executive Director of the Arizona Bioindustry Association. And as such, there are a lot of members of her association that have had great experiences in the social media and have had great experiences in life. We're going to talk about storytelling in just a moment. We did also promise you that we'd talk a little bit about YouTube, so we're going to wrap up with that, and then we're going to have a couple of stories that would be well told on a .tv program or on a YouTube program. But here's a couple of helpful hints about the changes in YouTube over the last couple of years if you haven't really been active on YouTube. The first thing that happened, in going back even further, is YouTube got bought out by Google. The first and most important thing that happened in that particular case is that Google went in there and allowed you to start adding keywords. So keywords can be added in there. Now, don't think that Google is anything but extremely intelligent, because they actually do voice to text your videos, so they know what they're about already. When you put in those keywords, all you're doing is double keywording it and highlighting what you feel is important that was said in that video. So if there's content in that video, the verbiage that is obviously not related to what you're telling people it's about, don't think that you're going to, it's called black hat tricks. Don't try to do that. Google will push it down in the rankings. Don't even try. The other thing that happened as a result of them buying it out is if you use the embed codes, they added embed codes, so you can actually take the embed codes out and link them into your website. That alone will give you, I'm not going to talk about massive amount of lift to your main website, but it will give a certain amount of search engine optimization lift. The other things that are important to understand about YouTube is that the title matters, just like on your website, on your meta tags, your keywords, your titles. All of those matter for each one of your YouTube videos. Make sure you treat it just like an SEO program, and you will get a lot better results. The other thing is, if you can start getting a video trending, meaning that it may not be wildly viral, but if you get 5, 10, 15,000 views on it, it will actually raise it up in the rankings. And if you have SEO that program, meaning done the search engine optimization on it with the keywords, there's a lot of very, very niche categories that are in YouTube where you trend. And if you turn at 10, 15,000 views might be enough to get you trending, where other people will find you because you're trending and you're in the top category for that particular keyword. And so now you will get a lot of web traffic that otherwise you wouldn't have. So it's truly organic waves of traffic that will come, and it might lift you from 15,000 views up to 50,000 views. And if you want to know how people go viral, that's actually how they do it. They get right at that very top, and they just keep going where they stay at the top of that and keep trending, and they get millions of views. So a little bit of helpful hints along those lines. Other things that are important is they provided playlists so that you don't have just a bunch of random videos on your YouTube. You can actually organize them according to playlists, and then they are also offering channels as well. And the little things down the road that really probably don't apply to your own channel is they're doing a little bit Hollywoodish things where they're extending the amount of an hour and a half videos are not going to be as uncommon as they have been, so that Hollywood can start getting a little bit more involved in that.
And they can compete with Hulu.
Yes, because they're feeling the pain. Hulu and Netflix going up against each other. YouTube, if you really think about it, neither one of them should actually have ever existed, because YouTube should have cornered that market. They realize that, but hey, they've got a few competitors, and they're doing a good job by eventually, being able to compete along those lines. So now we want to hand the mic back over to Joan to share a couple of stories that might be good examples of if you want to reach deep inside of your business and come up with something that is a good story to be able to share. It's all about content, and that's the other way that Google has changed itself in the last year, is that they're not only just looking for great keywords and optimal content that's related to those keywords, they are looking for relevant content, that's compelling content, that's well written, and that's where getting into traditional media and pulling your traditional media presence back into your social media is that holistic approach that we were talking about earlier. So give us a couple of examples of maybe some great stories that that might be compelling, that some of our business owners might be able to pull similar. Don't think in terms of, oh, I want a story about hearts, as we talked about earlier, but think in terms of what is about that human content that people would relate to.
Absolutely. So, well, have you ever been on a website called Empower Her?
No, I haven't. I know I've let you down.
You know what? I don't understand, Kurt, why you haven't been on one of the #1 women's health sites on the web.
I have been called out on the air.
All right, maybe it's because you're not a girl. But Empower Her is an amazing website that is actually a company that's based right here in Arizona. They were founded in Scottsdale by Michelle Robeson. And Michelle had a story. And her story was that after having some medical problems, she had a hysterectomy. And after that hysterectomy, she went into a deep, deep depression. And it was so bad that she was thinking about taking her own life. Now, Michelle was, at the time, blessed to have a fabulous family. And her family included the founder of Robeson Homes, which gave her the wherewithal to go to the best doctors in the world. And she kept looking for that answer and looking for that answer and looking for that answer. And finally she found it. And it saved her life. Wow. But when she was in the dark, deep, deep despair, she swore that if she could find an answer, she would make sure that no woman went through what she went through, trying to find an answer. So after she got better, she started a company called Empower Her, and that's EMPOWHER.com. Now, why is that important? Well, Michelle started telling her story, and she knew that she couldn't tell the story all by herself. So she reached out to her friends, and those were blogger friends and writer friends and women who wanted to share their story. This year it's estimated that 50 million women, and men too, will visit empowerher.com.
I think 50 million is an audience.
That's an audience. And read a story. Now, I don't get 50 million readers on azbio.org. I don't. I have a much more targeted audience. However, I'm friends with Michelle.
Right.
So sometimes I get to tell AZ Bio stories on somebody else's website. Somebody else's website that gets a lot of hits.
Absolutely.
And so this weekend, I wrote a post for Empower Her.
Wow.
And it's about having fun in the sun for years to come. Now, it's summertime, and we're all tempted to go to the beach, go to the pool, go play in the sun.
Sure.
And I remember when I was younger, heck, we would lay out in the sun with baby oil and iodine to get as dark as we could. But it's not like that today. And so the story talks about the science and just the good old common sense of having fun in the sun and doing it in a way that you don't damage your skin or your eyes or your hair.
Absolutely.
And we even slide in little things that people can remember. Like, if you're going to have fun in the sun, don't forget to slip, slop, slap, and wrap.
Now there's a good storyline right there.
Okay. So slip into something comfortable to cover up. Slap on that sunscreen because it's really, or slop on that sunscreen because it's really important that you apply it and reapply it in order to be safe. And a good UVA, UVB sunscreen is what's important. SPF 30, not 4. And then slap on that hat because you can burn the top of your head. You can make your hair fall out. And wrap on those sunglasses because you can damage your eyes too. Yeah, Arizona is the #2 place for skin cancer in the whole world behind Queensland, Australia.
Wow.
So we have some of the best experts in the world. So that's why I told that story where there's 50 million people that might read it, because that story might save somebody's life.
Absolutely.
That's how you tell a story.
Beautiful stories. Thank you so much. And it's relevant. It's things that matter to us. It isn't just socially or emotionally moving. It actually is great education for us, adds value to us individually. So those are the types of things you want to put in there. And the final thing we didn't get time to talk about that really is the capstone to all of this and putting together a great social media program. Go to bizgrowth, bizgrowth.trustedteam.com /start. It will show you a video about how you can pull all of this together under one roof. It's the most powerful thing I've ever seen, and allows you to go after your niche market better than any program I've ever seen before. Again, thanks for tuning in to the Social Universe here on Voice America and World Talk Radio. We want to thank our guest, Joan Kerber Walker from Arizona Bioindustry Association, or AZ Bio, and the website again,
azbio.org.
Very good. And a phone number in case somebody needs to reach you.
480-779-8101.
Wonderful. And thanks to all of our listeners for tuning in. This is Kurt Wilhelm, your host of the Social Universe here on World Talk Radio and Voice America. We look forward to you all tuning in next week. And don't forget to stay tuned for our show over on the other channel, on the Health Show, on the Health Channel on Voice America, which is Ageless Living. And we can look forward to AZ Bio members attending as guests on that show as well. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you next week.